Hi, you're with Bloomberg Quint and I'm Tamanna. Today we're discussing the latest round of farm loan waivers, this time announced by the government of Punjab, and the Punjab government claiming that they've topped Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh as well. Well, topped them in the sense that the Punjab government, Captain Amrinder Singh, the new Chief Minister of Punjab, has decided to extend farm loan waiver up to 2 lakh rupees for farmers with land holdings of less than 5 acres, and for marginal farmers a flat 2 lakh rupees relief on all existing loans will be given. That equals to about 8.75 lakh rupees. Now, how much is this going to cost the Punjab government? Well, the only estimate we have so far is by the State Bank of India, which released a report today, and as per SBI research, it will cost the Punjab government 24,000 crores. According to this report, the impact on the government of Punjab will be the state fiscal deficit jumping by an additional 4.8% of the GSDP. Now, we're raising some key questions today. Among those, that how many more states will go on to waive farm loans? Is it a long-term solution to the crisis we see cropping up every alternate year almost? And what will it do to state finances? To speak more about this, we're joined now by Mr. K.C. Chakravarti, the former Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Welcome, sir, and thank you for speaking with us. I first want to get your view on this whole list of farm loan waivers, which is coming up time and again. There is one report which says that by 2019, their estimate is that farm loan waivers will amount to about 2% of the GDP.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, sir.
So can I reply now?
Yes, please.
You see, first thing, I am amazed at the financial illiteracy of the media and people who are in the financial sector, because I don't consider this as a loan waiver or loan write-off. Loan waiver is different, loan write-off is different. Waiver and write-off can be given by the entity who have given the loan. Here the state governments are giving, and they are paying back to the bank. In any loan waiver, loan write-off, the entity which will be writing off or pay the loan, they will going to suffer. Here the banks are not going to suffer. At the most, I will consider this is subsidy by the state government towards the farm, to the farmers, towards the loan repayment. Now we are giving subsidy in many areas. There are interest subvention, there are tax breaks, there are many other things. So I don't think that if we are discussing subsidy, yes, I know subsidy has to be well administered, but then we must discuss all the subsidy together, and whether the state, central government has the fiscal space to give the subsidy, how they are going to administer,
yes,
whether it will get a moral hazard. But don't mix up this with a loan waiver and loan write-off. Loan write-off, loan waiver happening for the big corporate borrowers, which we are not discussing. This year itself, more than 1 trillion rupee of corporate loan has been written off. I don't know how much is the waiver. So yes, subsidies, if not administered properly, it will create a problem. We must look into the capacity of the government to give the subsidy, but then we must discuss all the subsidy together. Unfortunately, in our society, when the rich is given subsidy, it is not considered, it is not debated. Only when the poor is given subsidy, we are debating, and that's why the subsidy given to the farmers towards the repayment of loan is considered as a farm loan waiver.
No, fair point, sir, and I get your point, and we in no way say that you should not give subsidies or farm loan waivers to the poor and only to the rich. I get your basic point, but then if you could just explain that further. If you're saying it doesn't affect banks, why is the RBI governor worried about farm loan waivers? Why does the State Bank of India chairman say it will harm them?
This distorts the commercial system. In fact, RBI governor has also written against the interest rate subvention. It distorts the commercial transaction. Any interest subvention distorts the monetary policy, because Reserve Bank decides at what rate people to take the loan, and when you are giving subvention, you are distorting the monetary policy. So it distorts the commercial decision making about the loan. That is different thing. It distorts the commercial loan system, there is no doubt. But then you must not give also interest subvention. You have introduced an interest subvention for the housing loan, where the people up to 18 lakhs income can get, and nobody questioned that.
So, Mr. Chakravarti, that was a very interesting conversation we were having, just in the context of the Punjab government as well. You know, now this SBR report which came in today says that this subsidy, as you call it, for farm loans is going to add to the state fiscal deficit by an additional 4.8% of the GSDP. Now, I have a quote from the Chief Minister of Punjab, Captain Amrinder Singh, from his verified account, who as of yesterday says, I have inherited a state marked by empty coffers. Isn't it a fair question about how the government of Punjab is going to pay for these loans?
You see, government is deciding to pay. How they are going to pay that, they will say they have to raise the tax. How am I going to say how they are going to pay? But once you decide that I will provide this subsidy, they must be able to raise the tax. I think theoretically government has unlimited capacity to raise the tax. Now, if they have decided to give this subsidy, now I am not supporting the subsidy. Subsidy distorts any commercial transaction, no doubt. And if it is not well administered, subsidy for rich in our country is wasted, for poor it is leakage. It's incentivize corruption. I am not supporting. But all what I am submitting, don't consider it as loan waiver, loan write-off, and discuss it with along all other subsidy, how the state government, central government is giving subsidy to various segments of the society. Discuss it in all together and say that whether we are having fiscal space to give that subsidy and whether our subsidy administration system is efficient enough where rich will be subsidizing the poor will be subsidizing the rich. That much only point I am saying.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point, sir. Just not in the defense of the media, but a lot of governments themselves claim they're giving farm loan waivers. So
that is not wrong. They don't understand. This is what I am saying. That is financial illiteracy. Why banks are saying this is waiver? In no way bank. In fact, so long as I was in the banking system, I have never opposed any loan waiver. I have implemented that because it is good for the bank. Otherwise, people will not pay the loan. They are getting back the loan back. On the contrary, banks are giving the loan write-off, loan waiver to the rich people, which they are not ready to discuss.
Fair point. And you made that point. Now, just coming to the larger picture, Punjab is the third state to implement this subsidy for farm loans. There are estimates that more states will follow. I was talking about a Bank of America Merrill Lynch report earlier, which says that by 2019, they might amount to 2% of the GDP. In your view, is this sustainable, sir?
Yeah, you see, look, sustainable is, it depends on government capacity to raise the resources. Now, if the government feels that this subsidy is to be given, it has to be sustainable, otherwise how will they do? All what I am saying, that if it is not sustainable, then you discuss all the subsidy combined together. You also discuss the tax breaks which we are giving. All you have to put combined together and then see what is the fiscal space to give, how much is the subsidy, and how this subsidy will be targeted in the best interest of the economy of this state. That much only I can say. But you cannot avoid cross-subsidization in any civilized society. It should not happen. If I get the subsidy, it is good. If some other person gets the subsidy, it is bad.
No, absolutely. Just one more point. The Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, today was asked a question about a central farm loan waiver. Of course, for your benefit, I will call it a subsidy of farm loans. And he said that we will not be looking at any central waiver because we have FRBM targets and we have to maintain our fiscal deficit. My question to you, sir, is that even if the centre maintains its targets, but state after state is waiving these loans, won't it affect the consolidated targets?
You see, my due respect to the finance minister that you should consider this as a subsidy. Now, before declaring the subsidy on interest on subvention on the home loan, have you taken into consideration that aspect? When you say a person who takes a home loan and his repayment up to 1,50,000 every year, there will be tax breaks. Do you consider the fiscal space available or not? All what I am saying, that if you are saying that we will not give this subsidy for this particular job or farmer, even if they are distressed, in that case, because there is no fiscal space, then you must consider all subsidy together, all subsidy combined together, including tax breaks to the rich, and arrive at a legitimate decision with well-intentioned debate circulate in the society. That much only I can say.
You know, just a small point, a small submission on your point of interest rate subventions on home loans, because you made that point a couple of times. The counter argument from those who call themselves middle class is that we're bearing the most brunt of taxes. We are the ones who pay the taxes. So if we get a bit of a relief, what's wrong with it?
It is much better, but not indirect. That is what I am saying. Look, the problem is why I am against the interest subvention, because in our country, only 20% people are having access to credit and from the commercial banking system. Other people are borrowing from the money lenders, they are borrowing from the relatives, they don't get the benefit. So it is highly inequitable. People who get the money from the regulated banking system, their cost of credit is lower than their alternative cost, and that's why they should not get any subvention. That's my considered opinion. So you are only subsidizing the rich. That's the problem. People who are getting the loan from the banking system, they are privileged people. The people who are underprivileged, they are borrowing money from the money lenders, who are not being subsidized.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Mr. Chakravarti. Always a pleasure speaking with Mr. K.C. Chakravarti, joining us all the way from London via Skype. Two very interesting points that he made. One is that why target farmers when we're talking about farm loan waivers? He of course says these are not waivers because banks eventually will get the money. These are subsidies which governments give, and they should be treated on par with subsidies given to corporates and the middle class, especially on housing loans. Thank you so much for joining us for this report, and hope to see you soon next time.